Hi people, it's me Anja. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, all the books that I finished May with and I started June with, I've been filming, like pre-filming 3 weeks in advance. So for me it's like the 4th of June, even though for you guys it's like the end of June. So to wrap up May, I read 45 books. So that was amazing. It was so wonderful. I'm on the same track now for June to read like lots of books. So I'm just so excited. So, yay! The first book on this list is called Felix Ever After, written by Kacen, Callender, I think. I had really low expectations for this book because I've read a previous book by Kacen last month and I ended up giving it like a somewhat low rating. I ended up giving Felix Ever After 3.5 stars. It follows Phoenix Love, who's never been in love before, ironically, and he's black and trans and queer. And he deals with the feeling of feeling like he's not enough for love, which is so interesting that's an interesting topic to grapple with for an author. And I think that Kacen Callender did it so well. And this book was absolutely so good. And I've gotten a few compliments lately that I read diversely, which thank you, but on the other hand, like reading diversely is like the bare minimum. But if you want to read more diversely, I would recommend this book. It was quite good and it's perfect for Pride Month. So the next book is called House of Dragons, written by Jessica Cluess. This is a YA fantasy book about these 5 teenagers who are all competing against each other to get the dragon throne. I rated this book 3 stars. I wanted to rate it 3.5 stars, but about 60% throughout the book took a tone that I wasn't really expecting. I wasn't really like here for it, you know? I think that Jessica Cluess's use of the multiple perspectives worked well. Like she managed to like jump from one perspective to another perspective while telling like one story instead of feeling like I was reading 5 different stories, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but basically it worked well. There was never a point in the story where I felt like she had written too many characters or anything. This is the first book that I've ever read by Jessica, so like it was a good one. If there's a sequel to this book, I don't think I'm gonna read it because I'm not really interested in like how it ended. But dragons, teenagers, dragon throne, it was a good solid book. I don't think it's completely worth it, but I'm glad I read it. Like I don't regret reading it. The next book is called Shatter The Sky. This follows Malin, who must steal one of the Emperor's coveted dragons in order to rescue her girlfriend. I liked this book. I ended up rating it 3.5 stars. I liked Malin and Seb as characters. I'm excited to see where the story is going to go next, so I am going to continue the series. And I also really liked the world building. It kind of reminded me of like Warrior in the Wild and Forged in Fire and Stars, if you remember what I thought about that book. So I like this book. It was good. It was solid. And yeah, I'm just excited to see where the author is going to take this story next. I don't know if this book is like the start of a trilogy or like, I know that there's a sequel, but I don't know if it's going to be a duology or a trilogy. I'm not completely sold. I'm not completely certain about that, but I'm excited to read the sequel. And yeah, I have no idea where the story is going to go. The dragons in this book were superior to the dragons in House of Dragons. So if you're looking for a good, solid dragon YA fantasy book, then I would recommend this one and not House of Dragons. The next book that I read is called Sara in a Search for Normal, written by Wesley King. I had mad low expectations for this book because I read The World Below, I think that's what it's called, by Wesley, and I rated that book like 2 stars. So I really wasn't expecting to rate this book 4 stars. This is a juvenile contemporary book about this girl named Sara who wishes to be normal, and she doesn't think that she is because she has multiple mental diagnoses. And I really like this book. I loved Sara's character arc and her struggles of like wanting to be normal is really like relatable for me because I struggled with that about like 5 years ago. So reading about like something similar to what I went through was really nice and refreshing, and and I wish that I had read this story when I was like actually going through what Sara went through and not like in retrospect, you know? So this book was quite good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I rated it 4 stars, and yeah, it was just really good. The next book that I read is called Little and Lion, written by Brandy, Colbert, I think. This is a YA contemporary book, and it follows Suzette, who's settling back into her old life because she's been away at boarding school. So she's going back home, and the last time that she saw her brother Lionel, he was in this mental health facility because he got diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I really like this book. I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. It was so good. Brandy did such a good job discussing mental health, sexuality, and sibling relationships, because like conflict arises when Lionel and Suzette both have a crush on the same girl. And I was really looking forward to where this sort of love triangle was going to go, because normally I hate love triangles, but like this one, with them being siblings, really is a new kind of, I don't know, twist on love triangles, you know, because normally in love triangles, the two people who are crushing on the same person, or the girl who's trying to choose between the two guys or whatever, they have no like relation to each other. So I was really interested into like where this was going to go, and I really liked it. And Suzette is such a wonderful, resilient character, and I love her so much. This book deserves all of its hype and more, because it's just so good, and it's honestly kind of underrated. So you should read it. The last book is called The Bells, written by Dhonielle Clayton. This is a YA fantasy book, and it follows Camellia, who's a bell. And in this world, people are born gray, and with a bell, they can become beautiful, and they can transform into this beautiful like person. Camellia is not satisfied just being a belle. She wants to be the queen's favorite. So that's where the story like jumps off. I liked this book. I liked the world building. I liked the characters. I'm intrigued as to where the story is going to go next because of that cliffhanger ending. So I am planning on reading the sequel. However, I'm a little skeptical that the sequel is going to be worse than this one. This one had like an action-packed, fast-paced plot. So it kind of reminded me of like if A Face Like Glass and Dress for the Wicked had a child, and then like they immediately got rid of it and Glim Lovelace adopted it. So like even though I am continuing the series and I did enjoy like the world building and the action-packed plot and everything, I'm low-key afraid that the second one is going to be worse. But like I'm still gonna read it, but I'm just afraid that it's gonna be like worse. Like, because here's the thing, I understand why this book is so underrated, because it's not that amazing. It's really not. But like I'm glad I read it. So like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I've been getting a lot of compliments lately that I read diversely, which is so nice, because A, thank you, but also on the other hand, it shouldn't take a black man getting choked to death by a cop for people to want to diversify their reading. People should be diversifying their reading all along. You know, like George Floyd should not be the straw that breaks the camel's back, because this has been happening for centuries. And like I love that people are taking action, don't get me wrong, but like you should have been taking action like 6 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like maybe Emmett Till should have been the straw that breaks the camel's back, or maybe this just shouldn't have started at all. Anyway, I'm entering rant territory, but basically, thank you for watching my videos. The highest rating book that I read in this little week is Little and Lion. The lowest rating book was definitely House of Dragons. My month of June has started off strong. I know that seems a little weird for me to say because you're watching this at the end of June, but you know, that's just to say that the next recent reads video I will probably have a lot more higher rating books. So anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below your favorite diverse book, and yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Bye.